Bienvenidos to el Diario's 29th edition of Mujeres Destacadas. Un aplauso, por favor. Give a round of applause. I would like to invite all you all to take a seat and enjoy this wonderful meal. My name is Anny Ruiz Huayamabe, and I am part of the great team at Univision 41. And today, I will be your host. Last year, I was proudly your host for the 28th anniversary of Mujeres Destacadas, and I am so happy to be back with you guys. Mujeres Destacadas has grown into a community of remarkable Latinas who have become true ambassadors and role models for the next generation. Today, we proudly welcome 21 extraordinary individuals to this distinguished legacy, leadership, and impact. Please join me giving an applause of rounds for these 21 Mujeres Destacadas. El Diario's commitment as the champion of Hispanics is stronger than ever, empowering our community to achieve goals, realize dreams, and transform their lives. Today's honorees are living proof. No matter the challenge, they have risen, they continue to rise, and they're unstoppable. Yes, we are. And just to let you know, we're live streaming the Mujeres Destacadas on YouTube channel at El Diario NY. So let's say hello to the cameras. Hola, hola, quienes nos están viendo desde casa. And if you want, you can invite your loved ones who weren't able to be here celebrating this day with you guys. First, I would like to introduce Amani Duncan, CEO, My Code. Come here, Amani. This is your way. How are you?
You look beautiful.
And you too, thank you.
Thank you. We're just having a moment. Thank you, everyone. So, buenas tardes.
Buenas tardes.
Y felicidades a todas las homenajadas de Mujeres Destacadas. Es un honor estar aquí con ustedes hoy. The women here today don't just hold leadership titles and honors. You also hold responsibility. Responsibility to your teams, to your families, to your communities, and whether you asked for it or not, to the women watching you. I learned something very early in my career. Success changes your life, but representation changes someone else's. And that difference is where legacy lives. If you asked a younger version of myself, if you went back in time, not that far, please, but if you did go back in time and asked a younger version of myself if I would have been a 2-time CEO or a 2-time CMO, she would have been like, what? No way. Or a senior music executive. She would have been like, what? Music? No way. She definitely would not have said that she would spend most of her career being the only one in the room that looked like her. But when you grow up without seeing it, you don't always imagine it. But life has a way of placing you in rooms before your confidence even arrives. And when that happens, you have two choices. You can either shrink to fit the room or expand the room to fit others. Leadership begins the moment you choose the second. There's a myth about successful women that the path had to be smooth and easy or well-timed. Yeah, okay. No. Many of us built careers in places that simply didn't expect us and sometimes didn't welcome us. I once heard Olympic athlete Allison Felix say, "You can still use your voice even when it's quivering." I never forgot that line. Because courage is not confidence. Courage is speaking before the confidence shows up. Many of you know that feeling, I know I do. Presenting the idea, asking for the promotion, negotiating the salary, correcting the narrative while your heart is just racing. That's not weakness. That is leadership under construction. My Baba, who we called our dad, told my sister and I when we were growing up of a very simple principle. If you are blessed enough to climb, you are responsible enough to reach back. Early in my career, I searched desperately for mentors. Sometimes I found them, oftentimes I didn't. So I made a promise to myself early in my career that if I ever gained any level of influence, I would never become unreachable. Because access changes outcomes. A conversation can change a career. A belief can change a future. Mentorship is not charity. It's economic empowerment. And representation is not visibility. It's permission. One of my greatest joys is when I meet a young woman and she starts off by saying, "You probably don't remember this, but." Those are my favorite words because leadership is not measured in quarterly results. It's measured in human multiplication. It's the intern who becomes the director. It's the assistant who becomes the founder. It's the student who becomes the decision maker. We do not just build careers, we build pipelines. And communities change when opportunity stops becoming accidental. We often think legacy is what we leave behind, but legacy is actually what continues because you were here. The job title may end, the award, as pretty as it is, may even collect a little bit of dust. The org chart will definitely change. But the person you encouraged stays encouraged. The door you opened stays open. The standard you set, that stays set. That is actually impact. And in communities like ours, multicultural, multi-generational, leadership carries multiplied weight. Because when one woman advances, a family advances. When a family advances, a community advances. And when communities advance, industries change. My career has been built on 3 words: grit, to keep going, grace, to stay grounded, and the glory, not for me, but for what God made possible through us for others. Amen. 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 So this afternoon, I encourage each of you, use your voice even when it shakes. Hold the door even when you fought to get through it. And lift someone even while you're still climbing. Because leadership is not just about the position you hold, it's about the future that you make reachable. Congratulations to all of the esteemed honorees, and thank you for letting me in the room. May we continue to lead in a way that ensures none of us rise alone. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Amani. As you know, the celebration will not be possible without the support of our partners. I invite Ingrid Jimenez, El Diario's Director of Sales and Marketing, to help us recognize our sponsors.
I have to bring it down a little. Bienvenidos a todos y a todas que están aquí hoy día. Es un placer tenerlos a todos. And it is such an honor to have all of you and all 21 honorees present with us today. This is for you and about you. So congratulations once again. It is truly an honor to welcome you to the 29th annual Mujeres Destacadas celebration by El Diario, where today we proudly recognize 21 extraordinary women leaders whose work, dedication, and vision continue to strengthen and uplift our communities. Please join me in giving them another round of applause. For nearly 3 decades, Mujeres Destacadas has celebrated more than professional achievement. It celebrates legacy, resilience, and the lasting impact of Latina leadership across industries and across generations. Today, we honor not only the accomplishments of this year's honorees, but also the paths that they are creating for those who will follow, often while balancing careers, families, communities, and somehow still making it look effortless. Please, a round of applause for that. We would also like to extend our heartfelt thanks to our sponsors, whose continued support makes this celebration possible. Thank you to Liberty Coca-Cola Beverages for supporting this event and recognizing the importance of uplifting women leaders in our communities. Please join me in giving them a round of applause. Thank you as well to our media partner, Univision. For always helping us amplify the stories and voices of these remarkable women. And a very special thank you to Goya Foods. Goya Foods is our legacy and leadership sponsor, who has supported Mujeres Destacadas since its beginning 29 years ago. That kind of commitment truly represents legacy. And as we proudly say, si es Goya. A special round of applause, please, for Goya Foods. At this time, I would like to welcome Rossana Rosado, Commissioner of the New York State Division of Criminal Justice. 29 years ago, as publisher of El Diario, she had the vision to create Mujeres Destacadas. Please, a round of applause for my Rosana. I would also like to invite Maricela Báez from Goya Foods to join Commissioner Rosado on stage to accept a special citation from Governor Kathy Hochul's office in recognition of Goya's 90th anniversary and its long-standing commitment to our communities. Please join me in welcoming both of them.
Thank you. Good. Thank you. Let me say thank you for having me. I'm here today. I have 2 hats, but my first one is as a surrogate for Governor Kathy Hochul. And on her behalf, I would like to congratulate my colleagues, Sofia Zayas, the Governor's Director of Latino Affairs, Doris Gonzalez, Acting President of HESC, which is Higher Education Services Corp., and Minosca Alcantara, Director of the New York State Bridge Authority. These women are not only amazing colleagues, but they're so brilliant that you need sunglasses to talk to them. So let's have a big applause for Goya's 90 years. I can actually, we both dress in similar colors. I can actually vouch for the olive oil and the black beans. So we have this beautiful proclamation, but the letters are tiny, so I'm going to read the salient points. I'm not going to read the whole proclamation. But I do think we need to note the history. And let me just pause 1 second. Ingrid is going to kill me because she gave me 3 minutes. But I want you to know that directly across from me is the portrait of Pedro Albizu Campos. So make sure you take a picture there. And if you don't know who he is, ask Marlene. He's a Puerto Rican freedom fighter for the island of Puerto Rico. And so we're honored to be in his presence today, to have him in this room. So the Goya didn't wait for Latinos to grow or become successful. They banked on a future that they believed in. In 1936, Don Prudencio Unanue and his wife Carolina, immigrants who first migrated to Puerto Rico from Spain, opened a small storefront on Duane Street in Lower Manhattan, making the beginning of Goya Foods' story. A story that was driven by the belief that there was a growing demand for high-quality, fresh-tasting Latin foods. And they began serving local Hispanic families with authentic Spanish products, starting with olives, olive oil, and sardines. I didn't know that was a fresh product, by the way. Goya has grown to become the largest Hispanic-owned food company in the United States and is currently celebrating its 90th anniversary. They operate 26 distribution facilities across the United States, Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, and Spain, and they employ over 4,000 people. For many of us in this room, our childhood memories include Goya's famous tagline, which Ingrid just rehearsed, so es si es Goya, tiene que ser bueno. It is truly my pleasure to present this citation on behalf of Governor Hochul to Goya Executive Maricela Báez, Public Relations and Partnership Specialist. Let's do that.
Thank you.
Here we go.
Where's the photographer? Where is it? Over here. Over here.
And picture over here.
Okay.
Back up a little.
All right, let's stand up here. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. I can hold it if you want.
Go ahead.
She wants it. Is that good?
Okay.
Rossana. It looks like she works for Goya, right? For Rossana, the New York State Commissioner. Thank you so much. Good afternoon, everyone. That was an amazing presentation from the New York State Department Division of Criminal Justice Services. Thank you, Rossana. We're deeply grateful for this recognition and proud to stand alongside organizations that share our community to this service. Thank you. Leadership and uplifting our communities. This year is especially meaningful for us as we celebrate 90 years of Goya Foods, a legacy built not just on providing quality foods and products, but on giving back to the communities that have supported us for generations. Through Goya Gives, that mission, that initiative comes to life every day, whether it's fighting for food insecurity, supporting families in need, or investing in educational, sports, or cultural programs that bring people together and empower the next generation. In celebration of our 90th anniversary, next Tuesday, March 31st, on the 90th day of the year, we will donate 1 million pounds of food to people in need across the country. Okay. We believe that strong communities are built through partnerships, compassion, and action. And it's through these type of collaborations with organizations like this one, or like with the New York State Department of Criminal Division Services, or any other community or nonprofit, that we can make even greater impact. So thank you. Thank you for supporting Goya for the 90th year anniversary celebration. And thank you to El Diario and Mujeres Destacadas for honoring us.
And on that note, Goya gets their own portada.
Wow, oh, that's awesome. This is going to the lobby. Awesome, thank you.
Thank you, both of you. Now, let's introduce the first group of honorees. We start with Minosca Alcántara. Dr. Minosca Alcántara is the Executive Director of the New York State Bridges Authority and a national recognized civil engineer leading major infrastructure initiatives. A champion for STEM education and equity, she expands opportunities for women and underrepresented students. Please let's welcome Minosca Alcántara. I was looking for her this way. Y felicidades.
Gracias, gracias. Muchísimas gracias. Muchísimas gracias por haberme incluido en esta celebración. Óigame, tengo 2 minutos y medio, yo lo sé. Qué orgullo yo sentí hasta que vi la lista y de orgullo pasé a pánico. Felicidades a todas las demás. Qué lista de mujeres impresionantes. Muchísimas gracias al diario por estar aquí, a Rosana por ser un mentor de 1000 años y a mis compañeras de la oficina de la gobernadora, Sofía, Rossana, Doris, que es la presidenta de Higher Education, y Miguelina, una de mis amigas que también está siendo honrada. Muchas gracias. But I wanted to start by recognizing my parents. These extraordinary people always reminded me that to whom much is given, much is required. And God has given me a lot. My parents also taught me that to take every opportunity to learn, to grow, and most importantly, to contribute. And honestly, I have dedicated my life to do that. And whenever I forgot, they were there to remind me that I was born on third base, and I always needed to give back, that is what we're in this earth to do. Now, in this adventure of my life, in my trip, around the sun, my X number of years here around the sun, lots of people have accompanied me, and some were chosen for me, and some I chose. But they all helped me grow. My family shaped me deeply, aunts and uncles, my tia Lillian in particular, the first doctor I ever met that wasn't a medical doctor, but a different kind of doctor, a doctor in math. My siblings, my brothers and my sister, who trained me early in negotiating, compromising or not, jiu-jitsu and other arts whenever things didn't agree very easily. Miralba, my sister, one of my greatest gifts, who has taught me unconditional love and the true importance of having a sister. My most important choice, my husband. Fanny has taught me about love, excellent commitment, and loyalty. Friends and colleagues along the way that chose me, Governor Hochul, who gave me the opportunity of a lifetime leading the New York State Bridge Authority, and those I chose along the way that have guided me, challenged me, and inspired me to dream bigger. Some of them here that I mentioned before, Rossana, Doris, Sofia, Miguelina, and others that are not here with me today, my friends from high school, my dear college friends, Natacha and Geraldo, Olivita, Doña Mirta, Lauren, Chris Lowman, Dan, Nick, Brian, Jeff, Daniela, everybody, thank you so much. And just a reminder, we are the average of the 5 people we speak the most. Rosa, we speak the most every day, so choose wisely, because they will help us be the people that help us grow. So it's important that we make wise choices. Finally, my wonderful nephews, Michael, Samuel, nieces, Alex, and Sarah, they're part of my heart. And above all, and what all came together for me, my greatest gifts and my most significant, remember the quivering part? My most significant and meaningful contributions, my children. My son, Aramael, that is taking pictures there, and my daughters, Amnair and Gigi. Gigi here, or here. With me today, they are by far the most inspiring, loving, kind, empathetic, and smartest people I know. And they have taught me focus, gave me motivation and inspiration. I love them all to infinity and beyond. And to everybody that has been part of my journey, thank you. Your love carries me forward. Thank you so much.
Gracias, Minosca. Creo que muchos estuvimos a punto de llorar, sobre todo las que somos mamás, porque creo que al final del día ese es nuestro mayor ejemplo, sacrificio y sobre todo creo que nuestro triunfo mayor, los hijos. Our next recipient is Ana Silvelo Barreiros. World Language Teacher, Wonder Girls Program Coordinator, Lyndhurst Public Schools, and Wonder Girls USA. Ana Silvero Barreiros is a dedicated Spanish teacher and youth advocate who empowers the next generation through education, cultural pride, and leadership. Through her work at Lyndhurst High School and Wonder Girls USA, she mentors young women and inspired community impact. Mucha felicidad. Sí, claro.
Hi everyone. Uy, hola. Estoy encantada de estar aquí. Congratulations to everyone who is being honored today. I'm so happy to be here. Dicen que cuando una mujer avanza, avanzamos todas. Para mí, este honor representa mucho más que este reconocimiento. Como inmigrante, como mujer latina y como educadora, este reconocimiento representa mi orgullo de ser latina y mi propósito de ser educadora. Muchísimas gracias al diario por este gran honor. Recibo este honor con mucha humildad y gratitud. A mi familia, a mi esposo, a mis hijas, mi más gran orgullo. Vuestro apoyo es todo para mí. I can still vividly remember my first year of kindergarten. I cried every day for my mom to come and pick me up. I didn't speak English, I didn't understand cultural norms, and everything felt so unfamiliar. Looking back now, I joke that anxiety and I were best friends back then and we didn't even know it. The truth is, that little girl was simply trying to find where she belonged. As a daughter of immigrant parents, I grew up between two worlds. My parents were learning to navigate life in a new country, and I often became their mini secretary, their attorney, their translator. I went everywhere with them, helping them communicate and helping others who didn't speak English also. And I think that's where I really became a helper. That's where my heart for service began. My parents gave me the gift of assimilation, while never letting me lose who I was. We lived our lives as if we were in Spain. Spanish school, on the weekends, every weekend till I was a senior in high school. Clases de baile gallego y flamenco, but most importantly, a home deeply rooted in language and tradition. For a long time, I felt like I was living in two worlds. Not always American enough to be American, but not feeling fully Spanish either. As a first-generation immigrant, I know what it feels like to walk into places and wonder if you truly belong there. That journey shaped my strength, my resilience, and my purpose. It taught me that when we are blessed with a seat at the table, we have the responsibility to reach back and bring other women with us. Through Wonder Girls, that has become my life's work. Creating opportunities for young women to step into rooms they have maybe never imagined for themselves. And making sure they know that they absolutely belong there. Because true leadership is not just about opening doors, it's about building bigger tables for the next generation of women to rise. And the truth is, me standing here today is a true testament of my Wonder Girls family doing exactly that for me. They saw worth in my work, in my commitment, and in my heart for service. And they believed in me enough to nominate me for this recognition. Wonder Girls is not just magic for the girls we serve. It's transformative for every mentor, every woman who is part of it, and we really truly practice what we preach. And as a Spanish teacher, I have found even deeper pride in my language, my culture, and my identity as a Latina. Este honor no es solo mío, es de cada niña, cada estudiante y cada mujer que se atreve a soñar en grande. Gracias.
And now we're going to welcome my fellow ñañita, my Ecuadorian sister, Grace Bonilla. Grace Bonilla is the president and CEO of United Way of New York City, where she leads transformative initiatives expanding food access, health care, and racial equity. A dedicated public servant, she drives a citywide impact for families across the 5 boroughs.
Buenas tardes, qué orgullo estar con todas ustedes y felicidades a todas las que están siendo reconocidas hoy. Otra ñaña, hola. So I have to say that El Diario has played such an important fabric of my existence. As I was walking over here today for this beautiful luncheon, I remembered El Diario being underneath my grandfather's arm when he took me to the park. I remember also my dad running for the train or taking us to school with El Diario, always ever present. And it's such an important thing to remember that El Diario has anchored our sense of belonging. It has anchored the idea that our stories matter. And more than belonging, more than mattering, it also highlighted the important contributions of our community. So for me to stand here today, and I have to tell you, my dad was so excited that he almost took a plane from Ecuador to be here. So I want to thank El Diario for the YouTube link, because I sent it to him. Creo que están viendo, si están viendo, los adoro. Muchas gracias a mi familia, papi, mami, espero que estén pasando rico. But for us, it was that feeling that we could make a difference in this country, that we can contribute to a city and a country that sometimes didn't even want us here. And when I think of this institution, never like now in my lifetime has it been more important to celebrate each other, celebrate our culture, and celebrate who we are. Así que para mí es también un reconocimiento que el sacrificio de mis viejos valió la pena, pero que también que lo que celebramos hoy también vale la pena para el futuro que viene atrás de nosotros. To El Diario, to Mujeres Destacadas, I'm forever grateful for your contribution to us and how you've poured into us. And thanks to you, somos más. Muchas gracias.
We're going to continue with Miguelina Camilo, Chief of Staff from the New York City Council. Miguelina Camilo serves as the counsel to the Speaker of the New York State Assembly, where she leads major legislative initiatives and negotiations. A lifelong public servant, she also advances mentorship and scholarship opportunities through community leadership.
Buenas tardes a todos. ¿Cómo están? Did I just ruin the mic? I'm sorry.
This is for the live stream.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay. We got it there. And we're just going to put this somewhere in here. There you go.
Hello to my office that should be watching. I hope so. Buenos dias, as I was saying. Thank you so much to El Diario for having such a powerful room assembled together. Seeing some great friends of mine that I am always happy to be in company of. This is an incredible honor to be recognized as someone, as a Latina, that can be part of this community of mujeres. When I think about what it means to be a woman, especially a Latina woman, a Dominican woman, I think about all the legacies that we carry of us, especially for Dominicanas, La Hermana Mirabale, Mama Tingo, so many women that showed the world that courage can live in the face of fear and that we have the power to change history. One of the most beautiful things about being a woman is how much we all hold at once. We carry pain and happiness in the same heart. We hold strength and sadness at the same time. We carry wisdom that comes with experience, and yet we laugh like our younger selves. The ability to hold so much and to feel so deeply and still move forward with grace, that is a quiet kind of power that only a woman holds. And perhaps there is nothing more powerful than a woman choosing to recognize and uplift another woman. The power to stand beside such great women and say, I see you, I value you, your work matters. Porque cuando una mujer reconoce a otra mujer, no solo celebramos un logro, creamos un legado. And in rooms like this, we are not just celebrating individual accomplishments, we are building community, strengthening each other, and reminding the next generation of women that they belong. I don't say it lightly when I'm the first. I always say I was the first in my family to go to college, the first lawyer in my family, the first Latina counsel to a speaker in the New York State Assembly, to Speaker Carl Hastie, and now I'm the first female and first Latina chief of staff in history for the New York City Council. But being the first means nothing more than a call to action. It is to shed light in those rooms that we belong in, and it is to make sure that we are never the last ones. So today I accept this recognition with humility, and I share with every woman who has supported me, inspired me, challenged me, and stood beside me. Thank you for seeing me, and most importantly, thank you for creating spaces like this where we can continue to uplift each other. Thank you.
Our next honoree is Jacqueline de Jesus. Jacqueline de Jesus is the Human Resource Director at Liberty Coca-Cola Beverage, where she leads workforce strategy, leadership, and development, and inclusion initiatives. A proud advocate for the Latino community, she strengthens culture and supports high-performing arts.
Wow, I am so honored to be here. I was talking to my cousin recently, and she told me that she was recognized as a Mujeres Destacadas 2 years ago, so I could officially say it runs in the family. First and foremost, I thank God for where I am today. As I reflect on my journey, I'm grateful for the incredible leaders who challenged and supported me, often seeing my potential before I did. I want to especially recognize Naomi Moore, an incredible leader who is Latina and served 49 years in the Coke system and is here with me today. She hired me into my first role as an administrator, and her belief in me gave me the courage to go deep and search my potential. I remember she would advertise me to all senior leaderships like a walking billboard. Meet Jacqueline de Jesus, she's great, look at all the accomplishments she's doing. And because of her today, I am where I am. It's leaders like Naomi who taught me the duty of leadership is not just to themselves, but to the development and encouragement of their teams. I'm so thankful also for individuals like my boss, Kim Delaney, and also individuals like Mayra Linares that never misses an opportunity to highlight the accomplishments of others. I'm proud to be part of Liberty Coca-Cola Beverages, an organization that doesn't just talk about development, but actually truly invest in its people. Today, I have the privilege of paying that forward, helping future leaders in the communities we serve. And I especially want to thank my dad and my family immigrants that came here to this country to fight and to give me a better opportunity, and also my friends that are here supporting me, Nasha. Thank you all. I am so honored to receive this recognition.
Now we're going to welcome Michelle Disla. She's the content creator and influencer at Taste of Michelle. Michelle Disla is a food and lifestyle creator whose online community of 1.5 million followers, that's a lot, reconnects with culture through accessible recipes. She celebrates resiliency, family, and the strength of women through food and storytelling.
Hi, I'm Michelle. Very nice to meet you. Likewise. Thank you. Hey, cousin. Buenas tardes a todos, al diario, patrocinadores, colaboradores. Es un honor estar aquí junto a todas estas mujeres que aportan algo tan especial y tan necesario a nuestro día a día. Es un honor estar aquí con todas. Y a todas las invitadas, un honor verlas y a conocerlas a todas. Quiero agradecer especialmente a las personas que me siguen y ven mis videos. Tengo unos nervios, mira. Woo! My voice is quivering, but I'm going to keep going. Gracias por dejarme entrar a sus familias, a sus casas, a sus cocinas. Gracias por confiar en mis recetas. Gracias por permitirme ser parte de su familia, como mi familia se ha vuelto parte de la familia suya. Eso yo no lo tomo a la ligera, porque yo sé lo que es que confíen en ti. Yo sé lo especial que es que una persona ponga confianza en ti. Gracias a esa confianza, mis videos han ayudado a cientos de miles de personas a aprender a cocinar nuestras recetas tradicionales dominicanas y las recetas fáciles que nos sacan de un apuro, las recetas fuá. El diario me informó que soy la primera influencer en ser reconocida en Mujeres Destacadas. Está fuerte. Gracias. Y eso yo lo recibo con un agradecimiento grandísimo. Me siento vista. Y eso significa mucho para mí. Deseo, ya de último, que cada persona que esté aquí hoy se sienta importante a su manera, porque el mundo necesita exactamente lo que tú tienes que ofrecerle. Muchísimas gracias y que tengan muy buenas tardes.
Felicidades. Yo quiero aprender a hacer una avena para mis hijos. Our next honoree, it's Stephanie Duluc. Stephanie Duluc is the Chief of Staff at Somos Community Care and a champion for health equity across New York City. Through her leadership, she advances integrated care initiatives that expands healthcare access for underserved communities and families. Oh, right here. Wow. ¿Cuántas mujeres hermosas tenemos hoy aquí? Eso es algo que debemos destacar. Déjame moverme para acá un poquito. Thank you to El Diario New York for this recognition. Thank you for recognizing the many, many years of work that I've done in the community. Este reconocimiento se lo quiero dedicar a una persona muy especial, sino es la persona más importante en mi vida, que está aquí presente, está parada. Querida madre. Gracias por todo lo que haces por mí, por todo lo que has hecho, por tus enseñanzas, por tu lucha. Emigraste a este país con una niña pequeña, sin saber el idioma, sin saber qué esperar de este país, tratando de que esa niña llegase a ser una mujer de bien, una profesional. Y creo que este reconocimiento es el vivo ejemplo de tu logro, de tu lucha y tu sacrificio. Está de más decir que te amo con todo mi ser, y si tuviese que elegir en otra vida o en otras vidas quién fuese mi madre, ten por seguro que te elegiría a ti al 100%. Espero no defraudarte en ningún momento y que sigas siendo esa madre orgullosa de mí, que para mí significa un mundo, y creo que por ti es que continúo hacia adelante. No me quiero volver emocional. I don't want to be emotional. I know, I'm so sorry. I am very emotional myself, but Mom, thank you. Gracias por todo. Y gracias, Alex, a la vida por tu existencia en la mía. O sea, para mí esto es tuyo y espero llevarte más logros, más reconocimientos para que lo pongas en tu sala. And I want to turn over to the ladies in my table. Thank you for being here today with me. You ladies are part of my support system. You ladies have showed me so much respect and, in a way, mentor me in a lot in the office and in a professional way. I appreciate and admire each and one of you. So thank you for being here today. We're going to keep moving forward. We're going to keep making Somos the great institution that it is to support our communities. And I want to acknowledge someone as well in my table who decided to spare her time today, even though it's her birthday. So thank you, Lydia, for being here today with me in your birthday, celebrating my achievements. So thank you so much. Happy as the birthdays, Lydia. I love you, and thank you so much for everything you do for me. And to all of the honorees here today, you ladies are rocking it. Keep on doing that great work that you guys are doing right now. And congratulations to all of you. Thank you. Y yo quiero pedir un aplauso especial para las madres. Our next honoree is Marilu Galvez. She's the general manager and station president at WABC-TV and Live with Kelly and Mark. An Emmy Award-winning journalist with over 2 decades at the #1 station in the country, she has expanded WABC's community engagement, prioritized multicultural representation, and led the station to national recognition for excellence in journalism. Felicidades, Marilu. Qué gusto.
Ay, yo también estoy con los nervios, estar con todas estas mujeres fabulosas. Un orgullo, sinceramente, estar aquí con todos ustedes. It truly, truly means the world to me to be recognized by my community. And it is especially special that as a journalist, I am recognized by not just any newspaper, but El Diario, who also was a huge fixture in my home growing up. I'd like to thank my fellow team members from the Walt Disney Company who are here to celebrate and to be here with me today. Everyone knows David Navarro, who he's such a huge pillar in our community and has been for decades. Our very own Tanya Rivero, who also has the heart of our community. Thank you, Jeremiah, Marianne, and Ile for being here with me today. As we rise, we don't rise alone. It takes people who are here to support us along the way. And it also takes a village. whether it's family, friends, or whoever's in your inner circle that always believes in you. To my biggest fan, who's also here with me this afternoon, my husband Byron, who's my rock. Thank you for being there, for your support, and for our two beautiful children, Justin and Ariana. I suspect that my fellow Mujeres Destacadas and many women here are like me, who were embraced by strong women at home. The mamás, the tías, the abuelas, who gave us messages that are always embedded in the back of our heads. ¿Dónde está la sabache? ¿Dónde está la bendición de abuela? So many messages that as I step into, these roles, my grandmother's, she's always in the back of my mind, and I know that we all share that together. Brick by brick, they helped us build a foundation of who we are today. And that foundation made of strength, fortitude, faith, and love, it helps me, and I know it helps all of you every single day. So if you need a little inspiration, because it's never easy, and it will always be difficult for us to continue to climb, and we have to lift. But when you need a little inspiration, think about how we filled this incredible space with all of you. We're all special. Thank you, and there's room for all of us. Thank you.
Now let's welcome Melissa Sarmiento. She's a police detective from the Jersey City Police Department. Detective Melissa Sarmiento brings more than 22 years of service to the Jersey City Police Department. A community leader and advocate, she builds trust, mentors youth, and strengthens connection between law enforcement and the community.
So good afternoon, everyone. I'm also a little nervous. Sorry. Thank you to the Mujeres Destacadas for having me, for honoring me, and for honoring such amazing women to be with today. I definitely take pleasure in seeing how great women can be, and you're just a force. We're just a force you can't be reckoned with, and it shows here today. So congratulations to you all. First and foremost, I give all honor and glory to God, because I know without him I am nothing. Every door, every lesson, and every ounce of strength I carry has been by his grace. Today is more than an award. This is a reflection of a journey built on sacrifice, resilience, and faith. And while I stand here today, I do not stand alone. I stand on the shoulders of the strongest woman I've ever known. All right, it's quivering. My mom didn't just raise me, she poured into me. She taught me how to stay strong when life gets heavy, how to keep going when giving up feels easier, and how to walk with dignity through it all. I've also been blessed with my sisters and brothers, where I'm one of 6, who have lifted me and reminded me of my strength on the days I couldn't see it myself. Because of them, I become a woman who doesn't break, a woman who builds, leads, and lifts others. And I stand here proud to be a Latina, proud of my culture, my roots, and the strength that lives in our stories. Because being Latina means resilient, passion, and carrying generations of strength with purpose. Now I carry that same responsibility for the 2 greatest blessings in my life, my daughters Gianna and Kylie. Everything I do is so that they can see what strength looks like, so they know being a woman equals power. To them and every young girl watching, know this: you don't need permission to be great. Don't shrink to fit in spaces that were never meant for you. Walk boldly, speak loudly, and never forget where you come from. To every woman here in this room, your story matters, your strength is changing the world, and don't let anyone ever make you doubt that. I believe strong women don't wait for change, we create it. We don't ask for space, we take it. And we don't just make history, we become it. I would like to thank Mujeres Destacadas, El Diario, Goya, and Rafael Toro for this incredible honor and for uplifting women like me. Thank you for this recognition. I receive it with humility, gratitude, and with purpose. Y como mujer latina, camino porque nuestras raíces no solo nos definen, nos impulsan. Y para todas las mujeres aquí presentes y las que vienen detrás de nosotros, sigan caminando con fuerza y con fe, porque lo mejor aún está por venir.
Our next honoree, it's Lori Tarkey. Lori Tarkey is the Executive Director of the Joseph A. Unanue Latino Institute at Seton Hall University and a nationally recognized leadership expert. A proud daughter of Cuban exiles, she creates transformative programs that celebrate Latino impact while empowering students to thrive.
All right, how is everybody doing? No soy alemana, soy cubana. So, first of all, thank you to El Diario, to everybody here. Thank you, Bill Tapacti, for believing in me. And this is hard today, and you'll find out why. About 6 months ago, I was talking to a Honduran mother. Her daughter goes to the same school as my daughter does. Okay, I have a little 9-year-old girl. And that mother said to me, my daughter is not proud of being Latina anymore because of the things that were going on in her family. So my daughter, of course, a week later says, Mamita, because that's what she calls me, which for those of you that are not Latino, it means hot mom or little mom. I'll take both. Okay? So she says, Mamita, I want to go on a play date with that girl. And I said, okay. First time I'm meeting her. She's in my car, we're going to a trampoline park, I'm parked in the parking lot, and she says, what do you do for a job? And I said, I'm an executive director. And she says, what's that? And I said, well, I'm a super Latina, you're a super Latina too, and I help students understand super Latinos. She said, but what do you do? And I said, I had to think of how can I explain this to a 9-year-old, right? So I said, okay, honey, I said, I know that when you go to the doctor, you have to translate for your mother. Who said that before? Who was the translator? Okay. Yes, okay. I know that when you go to the doctor, you translate for your mother. I know that when you do, you're doing it by yourself because nobody speaks English at your house. I know that, I said, I know that when you go to your school plays and when you go to your concerts, your parents aren't there sometimes because they're working. And I know that when your mother takes out her chancla, you should run. That little girl, I'm not even kidding, she was horrified because she thought I was Walter Mercado, okay? She looks at me and she says, how did you know that? And I said, honey, my job is I was once you. And what I get to do for a living is that I get to be the person that I needed when I was your age for you so that you don't have to be alone. Okay, a week later is their band concert, their first band concert. You know what I'm talking about, the one where they sound horrible? And you're really trying not to crack up, but you're laughing. And I'm the inappropriate one, I start laughing. But I'm in the front row, the obnoxious Cuban mother, and my daughter's over there with her clarinete, and I'm like, ch-ch-ch-ch-ch. And then all of a sudden I look over to that little girl and her head is down, her violin is on her lap, and I said her parents aren't there. So I work for a university, but the Joseph A. Unanue Latino Institute is not just for Seton Hall students. This is your institute. And believe me when I tell you, it's the institute that you dreamed of when you were 18 years old. You wish this thing would have existed, okay? And it's named after the former CEO of Goya, All right, so I look over to her and I got my camera ready. And I said, Mija. She didn't look up. And I said, Mija. She didn't look up. And I said her name. And she looks up and I go, Super Latina. And she puts up her violin. She puts up her reed. And she says, Super Latina, back to me. I can't get the kids on that playground who are Latino to stop doing Super Latina to me now, okay? So here's the reality of that moment for me, okay? What we do at that university is nothing short of magical. We create wishes, we create dreams that happen. We bring the history makers like Colonel Marisol Chalas, the first Dominicana to ever become a colonel in the entire United States military. She's on our advisory council. Goya Foods, who's a part of Daily Pay, he's a barrier breaker. He's on our advisory council. Bill Tipacti from Univision, that gentleman is on our advisory council too, and he is also a mover and a shaker. Meiling Toro, she's affiliated too as well. We have so many. And we not only put them in front of their faces, they become their mentors. That is what's amazing. And we bring them to the highest levels. Our gala is not at Seton Hall. Our gala is at Cipriani Wall Street because I want them to walk the red carpet. I want their photos taken by paparazzi. I want them to know that they're kings and queens, these students, and I want them to sit amongst the millionaires, the billionaires, the history makers, the barrier breakers. And to know that they've got a seat at the table. But you see, here's the thing. I'm that little girl today. Why? Because about 3.5 weeks ago, my mother passed away. And El Diario put a lovely little candle there to save a spot for her at the table, okay? Except here's the thing. I know I'm not alone because I'm accompanied by all these super, what? That's right, I'm accompanied by all my super Latinas. So when my mother was passing away in the hospital, I said to her, Mommy, they're going to give me the El Diario Award. And I said, I'm going to dedicate it to you. She couldn't talk anymore. And she said, and I said, do you like that? And with her eyes closed, she said, yes. And she took my hand and me dio uno de los últimos besitos. She gave me one of her last kisses. And so today I'm dedicating this to my family who's watching from Pennsylvania, Spain, everywhere, to my family over at Seton Hall University, who we collectively do this work together, to all of our students, our scholarship recipients, to every single one of you who stand behind our students. I need you to rally for us and come find me on LinkedIn and get involved because we need you now more than ever. Thank you.
Thank you to that super Latina and to all the super Latinas here in this room. As we celebrate today's honorees, we're reminded that true impact is measured by how we lift each other's. Today, we continue that legacy, investing in the next generation of Latinas leader through a scholarship support that empowers students to dream big and go further. This year, we're proud to announce 2 scholarships awards, including our first recipient, Destiny Beltre, a rising leader representing the future of our community. This scholarship is proudly presented by Goya Foods, continuing their commitment to education and opportunity.
Okay, I need this, so. Good day, everyone. I'm truly honored and deeply grateful to receive this Goya scholarship. Growing up, Goya was more than just a brand in my home. It was a symbol of comfort, culture, and family. My meals always had a touch of Goya flavor because without it, it simply didn't feel like home. Just before I received the call about this scholarship, my mom and I were talking about college tuition and how we could pay it all. That conversation made me even more grateful for this opportunity. It is a real relief to have support from my education. Receiving this scholarship further supports my higher education goals, which I am thrilled to pursue at Binghamton University starting this fall. Thank you. My experience at the Celia Cruz Bronx High School of Music has enriched my journey and brought me to where I am today. Being a part of the National Honor Society, the Student Leadership Team, the Senior Committee, the Restorative Justice Council, and many more enrichment and internship programs have given me the chance to contribute to building a positive and supportive environment for my peers. Outside of academics, I enjoy to give back by donating to shelters locally and abroad and sharing my voice through my school choir and church choir. I could be shy about singing, but in true Dominican fashion, the moment my mom tells a neighbor or family member that ella canta, suddenly I'm performing whether I want to or not. I want to express my heartfelt thanks to my school staff and teachers who have given me the support every step of the way. With a very special thanks to my guidance counselor, Ms. Brianela Colon, I am immensely grateful to El Dario and Goya for making this scholarship possible. Y por último, a mi mamá. Gracias, mami, por todo lo que ha hecho por mi hermana y por mí. Estoy siempre agradecida y bendecida de tenerte como mi madre. Quiero que sepa que eres mi inspiración para ser mejor y hacer mejor. Y reconozco todos los sacrificios que hiciste para que yo pudiera tener esta vida. Tus esfuerzos no fueron en vano y continuaré haciéndote sentir orgullosa porque esto no es solo mi logro, sino también el tuyo. Gracias otra vez. Thank you all.
Congratulations and thank you, Destiny. We're all here crying and moqueando. Like every year, we're in for a real treat. Today's menu is a celebration of flavor inspired by Goya's products and masterfully crafted by Goya's executive chef, Fernando Deza. Give them a round of applause, please. And the Harvard Club's own chef, Robert Galuzzi. And for those joining us via YouTube, we'll be taking a 30-minute break until lunch is served. As your meals are being served, please direct your attention to the screen for a special video. Thank you. Who's going to play that? Buen provecho.
Since 1936, Goya has been at the heart of the Hispanic kitchen, crafted with the best ingredients and the authentic flavors of Latin America and the Caribbean. But our most important recipe isn't found in a can. It's found in the heart of our people. For over 90 years, we've been a household favorite. We know the flavors you love because we see you as part of our family. And like any great family, we've stayed together because we believe that food connects hearts and builds stronger communities. This deep commitment is what drives our Goya Gives initiative. We share our culture, our traditions, and the heritage that unite us. We don't just share a table, we celebrate the same roots. We've walked alongside our communities through their growth and achievements, fueling education and the future of the next generation. Goya is about flavor, but in difficult times, it's also about hope. Through Goya Gives, we extend a helping hand when it's needed most. From Hurricane Maria in Puerto Rico and the earthquakes in Haiti, to the unrest in Venezuela and the aftermath of storms like Sandy, Isaac, Harvey, and Irene. We've delivered millions of pounds of food, providing comfort in the toughest moments and fighting hunger every single day. Working side by side with food banks and charities, we do more than just donate meals. We help build stronger communities, one plate at a time. At Goya, our work doesn't end with a meal. We strive for the total well-being of our communities because that is the core of our promise. Wherever there's a need, Goya will always be there. because if it's Goya, it has to be good.
Round of applause to the Harvard Club team for the amazing food and outstanding service. Un aplauso para aquí las personas que nos están sirviendo del Harvard Club. Yo sé que hay muchos latinos porque los escuché por ahí hablando español. Por favor, démosle un aplauso. And to everyone joining us live on YouTube, we see you. Thank you for being here with us today. And for here, us in the room, please let's take a moment, wave to the cameras over there. Y hagan una bullita y make some noise. Woo! Please join me in welcoming back Ingrid Jimenez, who will introduce our next speaker. ¿Quién de nuevo? Dari Gonzalo. Sí, ¿verdad? Sí, no estoy yo mal.
Hello, 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 everyone. Have you enjoyed your meal? I hope so. I did. Sí. If I can kindly have your attention, please. Thank you. Thank you so much. So I'd like to share with you that each year, Mujeres Destacadas, it's special in its own way. What makes this celebration so meaningful is that it continues to grow and evolve, just like the extraordinary woman we are honoring today, while staying rooted in the vision that started nearly 3 decades ago. This year feels especially meaningful for all of us at El Diario, because we are celebrating someone whose leadership helped shape not only this program, but generations of journalists, professionals, and community leaders. During her 14 years as publisher of El Diario, she was a mentor to many, a mentor to me, and a powerful advocate for elevating Latino voices. Yes, and she did hire me 3 times. I can never leave home. I do have to tell a quick story though. I remember I started my career at the Wall Street Journal many, many moons ago. And in 2000, Rossana hired me. And when I walked into El Diario, yo dije, llegué a mi casa, Dios mío. And today, Rossana Rosado begins an exciting new chapter in her life. It marks a very special moment as Mujeres Destacadas proudly serves as the first stop on the East Coast book tour for her new book, Bronx Attitude. It's a story that reflects resilience, identity, community, and the spirit that has inspired so many of us through her journey. It is truly a privilege to welcome her back to this stage. And also, we are going to be privileged to have a meet and greet after the luncheon out there in the room as well with Rossana Rosado. So please, a round of applause for Rossana.
Thank you. Thank you, Ingrid, and thank you all. And also thank you for letting me sit. My heart is so full and my spirit is so happy, but my body does not cooperate. So I can't stand for long periods, but I'm really happy to be with you today. And I'm going to read you just 2 things from the book, because this is what you do when you're on a tour. But also, I think it's appropriate for the day. I've always been obsessed with legacy. It's why I have over 50 years worth of journals in bins in my home office. I've been keeping journals since high school. Why did I feel such a need to write everything down? I mean, besides being a journalist, right? It was as if I was leaving a trail of breadcrumbs for myself. In 1996, I was El Diario's editor-in-chief, and I was having lunch with one of my bosses at the Harvard Club. He was a member. The lunch was okay. But I remember being interviewed there by a New York Times editor when I was 21, and he humiliated me by telling me to put away my resume because there was no business allowed in the dining room. And that's how they tell you that you're not meant for this room. So when I left that day after I had lunch with my boss, I took note of the waiters. Let's give an applause to our waiters and our serve staff. I took note of the waiters and the doormen, the concierge. They were all Latino men, old, young, and in uniform. These were all my readers. They reminded me of my grandfather and uncles who worked in these types of clubs in the 40s and 50s. I wanted to bring more people here. There had to be a way to use this space without having to go to Harvard. And this luncheon was born. So I'm just going to move into a chapter that I called Claiming My Territory. And I want to share that with you today. So we had moved to Brooklyn in June. El Diario had moved to Brooklyn in June, but it was late September when I finally drove down Flatbush Avenue one morning looking to dispose of the spirit in my trunk. It was a portrait of the former publisher Carlos Ramirez. I parked near a construction site for what would be the Barclays Arena. I dropped the framed picture in a dumpster and drove back to my office feeling free of the past and just a little guilty for leaving Carlos in Brooklyn. After almost a decade of carrying the burden for the legacy, I wanted to claim my own territory. Former disgruntled employees had dubbed me the accidental publisher. They also blamed me for the downfall of journalism and the decline in newspaper circulation. I laughed about it and considered that as a title for this book, The Accidental Publisher. I did not start out planning and plotting to become publisher. My dream job was editor. And in retrospect, I believe I mourned for that role for a long time. I left abruptly to fill a void in leadership. But for all who came to El Diario to make their way, to opine and indict, to pontificate and wind up on social media, sobbing and whining, for all of them, it is worth clarifying this, that I arrived first. Yes, you can applaud. Of course. I entered that newsroom in 1983 at the age of 22. I lived through the last year of Manuel Bustelo's regime. I lived through the Gannett era, the Koch administration, and the many wars on immigrants in this town. I lived through several eras of the iconic New York paper, returning to be editor-in-chief after Manuel was brutally murdered. I watched Carlos battle cancer while handing me the reins. My relationship with El Diario over a 30-year period was cast by history. My career there and my tenure as publisher was the culmination of a struggle of brave and loyal Puerto Ricans who changed the fabric of New York City and made transitioning here better for other Latinos from all of our countries. Thank you. I am the product of Puerto Rican blood, sweat, and tears. I have been chosen by my own predecessor to lead. The elders had poured their hopes into me and had paved the way. It was the honor of my life to serve this community. To all who came to El Diario to fix, to force, to squeeze the margins, to those who arrived to focus on anything but our audience, you were the accident. This was never yours. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rossana. And now we're going to introduce the second group of honorees. Let's welcome Doris Gonzalez. Doris Gonzalez serves as an acting president of the New York State Higher Education Services Corporation, where she oversees the state financial aid programs. And a dedicated public servant, she champions educational access and opportunity for students across New York. Otro aplauso, por favor.
Muchas gracias. De verdad que gracias a todos. Bueno, es un día espectacular. Yo no puedo decirle todo el amor y el orgullo que siento estar aquí con todas ustedes. Es algo que nunca me olvidaré. Así que primero quiero también darle las gracias a Ingrid Jiménez, que escribió todos esos artículos. Ay, you're amazing. I want to just thank El Diario for this immense honor. You know, my parents read El Diario. You're going to hear this a lot, right? They read El Diario every single day. It kept them connected to our Latino community. I'm convinced, of course, that, you know, staying connected to your roots opens doors. It really does, especially if you know multiple languages. I want to say just a short story. When I started working in the press office at the Metropolitan Transportation Authority, that was right out of college. My career began really when my boss handed over to me the Spanish media calls, which ultimately led me to talk to a very young reporter, Rossana Rosado. That was in the 80s, yes, because she covered transportation and she was a force to be reckoned with. But what a blessing that was, and how wonderful that we stayed connected through the decades. And now we're both working for this amazing mom, the first ever mom governor, Kathy Hochul. And it's just an incredible honor to know someone like, I already got my book, I got it signed, so everybody here should just make sure you make a beeline to get the book. I can't wait to take it to La Terrena. We're leaving Sunday, so I'm looking forward to reading the whole thing while I'm there. Okay, vámonos, vámonos. I really am thrilled to be in such amazing company with these Latina leaders, trailblazers, visionaries. Congratulations to each of you. But I have to also give a special shout out to my amazing colleagues, Minosca Alcántara, claro que está allí, y a Sofía Zayas, ahí mismo está también. I want to say that, you know, we talk about, you know, where we came from, right? So here I am, that 7-year-old immigrant from Santo Domingo, who in the mid-'60s, as you maybe saw in my profile, in the mid-'60s, there was no bilingual education then, so I learned to speak English watching Sesame Street, which I love to this day. See? It's not just, it's a connection that we were able to make. And then going to college and then having a 44-year career in the public and private sectors in New York. I want to also tell you that now I stand before you as acting president at the New York State Agency, Higher Education Services, that makes college dreams happen. So Destiny, you know, I connected Destiny to my daughter. There she is. And so we make college dreams possible for more than 300,000 students each year through our grant scholarships and loan forgiveness programs. Thank you. But I really stand here because of many people that, as you may have heard before, you know, people who saw things in you that were possible that you didn't think were possible. So we do all have to continue to lift each other. We have to continue to inspire each other. Every experience that you have might be yours, but it's also a shared experience. I want to thank Francisco Garcia Quesada at Fordham. He was one of the folks who nominated me. I want to shout out to my general counsel, Nadia Chanza, for all her love and support, and everybody at HESC who's watching on YouTube. I also want to thank my brothers, my brother, my sisters, Esther, Luisito, Carolina, Ron, my brother-in-law, my nephews, Anthony, Jason, Ian, who's always with us, and of course my great nephews, great nieces and nephew, Mallory, of course Violet, and also we have Augie. And another one on the way. So I'm very, very excited. I also want to say that today is especially significant for me. I'm going to try not to cry. Because I'm sharing this moment today with my daughter, Milena, who's the light of my life. I live for her. As a single mom, it's not easy. And when you become a single mom on purpose, I do everything for her. I know that my parents are watching down from heaven, and I can still hear my mother's voice saying, sigue pa'lante, mija, sigue pa'lante. Mami, seguimos pa'lante. Gracias a todo.
Thank you, Doris, for those kind words. And I want to give a special shout out to my colleague Lulu Gomez, who's giving out these awards to these incredible women. Un aplauso para Lulu, también que forma parte de la familia de Univision 41. Our next honoree, Teresa Gonzalez, partner at Bolton-St. John's. Teresa Gonzalez is a respected government relations strategist and co-founder of Latina-owned advisory firm, Shaping Policy, Development, and Community Engagement. She builds bridges between communities, institutions, and opportunity.
Thank you so much for El Diario, Ingrid, Grace for nominating me. I could go down the list. Most of you had thanked your mom, so you took care of that for me. Thank you for not leaving after lunch for everybody who stayed here, because I know you were tempted. You know, I can kind of spend my 2 minutes or less now talking about my mother, talking about my grandmother, talking about the incredible women in the room. You all know that I love you. But the one thing I've noticed that we have not done, these incredible women, is thank ourselves, right? Thank ourselves for being the mothers that we are, if we're mothers. Thank you, Doris, for your beautiful daughter. Thank you for those of you who have sat at tables that didn't want you. But thank yourself, right? Without that kind of self-love, this work is hard for no reason. So I want you to remember as we go through this time that we're still fighting these horrible challenges, whether it be nationally or locally or within our own families or within our own selves, that it is okay to thank yourself for still being here, for smiling every morning when you wake up. I want to thank you and know that every day I do. But I'm also learning to thank myself for things. So I encourage you to do that, whatever that looks like for you, whether that means going to the spa or spending time with your family. But the idea that you are allowed to love yourself, right? And that allows you to continue to propel forward and bring people with you is invaluable. So thank you. Don't forget to thank yourself.
And we're going to continue with Andrea Herbes, Director of Programs and Development at HANAC. For nearly 2 decades, Andrea Herbes has been a driving force at HANAC, overseeing more than 50 social services programs, serving over 30,000 New Yorkers each year and strengthening communities through strategy, partnerships, and leadership. Felicidades.
Buenas tardes a todos. Hemos llegado a la edad que tenemos que usar los lentes.
¿Ecuatoriana también?
Soy la tercera ñañita. Muy buenas tardes a todos. Good afternoon. I'm truly honored to receive this recognition today. Thank you to El Diario and Goya Foods for this acknowledgement, as well as Mujeres Destacadas 2026. Estoy muy orgullosa de estar aquí delante de todos ustedes y quiero agradecer al trabajo que hago con la compañía que trabajo que se llama HANAC. A special thank you to you, Stacy. She's there. Let me think about a secret so I don't know when I cry. Stacy is HANAC's executive director. For her trust and continued support. And to HANAC for being my second home. I truly consider HANAC my second home, where I found my calling in life helping others. As an Ecuadorian immigrant, this moment means a lot to me. Immigrants come to this country with hope, determination, and the desire to work hard, contribute to society and the economy, and make a positive difference. Through my work in the nonprofit sector, I try every day to make that positive difference in the life of others. I am deeply grateful for this honor, and it inspires me to continue working for our most vulnerable communities. Together, we can create more opportunities and a stronger future for everyone. I would also like to thank my parents. I'm going to speak this in Spanish. For their work ethic and values that they taught me, which I carry with me from my hometown, Cuenca, Ecuador. They made me the woman I am today. Para mis padres, por la ética laboral que me enseñaron y por todo el sacrificio que ellos hicieron, y para mi ciudad, Cuenca, Ecuador, que la llevo en el corazón. And to Richard, for his constant support, understanding, and patience, for being a key pillar in my life. My boyfriend doesn't speak Spanish at all. But the first thing that he learned in my home is that we cook always with Goya sazon. So that's how he learned. Today, I stand here with many incredible women. Let us continue to support each other, honor the legacy of the women who came before us, and pass the legacy on the next generation of women leaders. As Latina women, we carry a mission to advocate for the most vulnerable. Our voices matter, and we should never be afraid to stand for what is right. We are superheroes, as she said. Thank you very much to all of you. Thank you.
Our next recipient is Talia Bernal Lockspacer. Did I say that right? Lockspacer? Where is Talia? I see Talia there. Talia is Chief Operating Officer of Catholic Charities of the Archdiocese of New York, where she leads initiatives expanding services for vulnerable New Yorkers and strengthening families, communities, and opportunities across New York.
Muchísimas gracias a todos por este honor. Como primera medida, tengo que darle las gracias a El Diario, a Univision, a Impacto y a Goya. El trabajo que yo hago todos los días no se puede hacer sin, como primero, informar a la comunidad de una manera que sea en verdad, que comuniquemos la verdad y que comuniquemos, que les dejemos saber en realidad a las personas que más necesitan información, dónde pueden conseguirla y de la manera que la pueden conseguir, donde sea la verdad. Así que mil gracias a la compañía Goya, porque gracias al apoyo que ellos nos dan, Caridades Católicas todos los años puede proveerle servicios y alimentos a más de 6,000 personas y probablemente distribuimos como millones de comidas, porque ustedes saben lo mucho que va una lata de Goya beans. Así que muchísimas gracias a la compañía Goya. I wouldn't do this work if it wasn't for the fact that my mom and my dad, especially my dad, told me that always, that the true measure of success is not what I get for myself, but what people get from what I do. And I carry that helped me become a social worker, that helped me be who I am today. I am so grateful for Catholic Charities. I think the previous honoree talked about finding a home at Hannock. I found a home at Catholic Charities. The work that we do every day is the work that makes communities better. And what an honor for me to spend every day strengthening communities, strengthening the very women whose footsteps are going to be following all of yours, all of the women in this room. There are women who are watching us, watching you every day, who are wanting to be who you are. And those are the women who come to our doors at Catholic Charities looking for help, looking for guidance, and looking for the supports that they need to make a life for themselves and for others. And what an honor and a privilege it is for me to do that every day. I should be thanking them, and I should be honoring them. So I also want to say thank you to all of you. This honor is not mine. This honor belongs to my mom and my dad, to my son Dylan, who didn't get his mom at so many things because work came first so many times. And to all of the women and all of the families who are out there on the streets of New York today trying to figure out how to belong. And they're going to continue to do that every single day, and for whom we have a responsibility to make sure that we make that home for them. Thank you.
And before I introduce our next honoree, I have to say that I am a big fan of her. So I remember me and my abuelita watching novelas de Televisa, and then coming to my first Broadway show, which was Chicago. Let's please welcome Bianca Marroquin. Bianca Marroquin is an international Broadway star who made history crossing from Mexico to Broadway in Chicago, earning top awards in both countries from Broadway to television and music. She continues to break barriers while proudly representing Latino talent on the world's greatest stage.
Muchas gracias. Buenas tardes a todos. No saben el gusto que siento, en verdad. Cada persona que se ha subido a hablar, cada mujer super latina que se ha subido a hablar, ha tenido un mensaje para mí el día de hoy. Y así vamos por la vida, abiertas, con el corazón abierto y la mente abierta, y diciéndole a Dios, ok, ¿qué tienes para mí hoy? ¿Qué necesito escuchar? ¿Qué necesito aprender? ¿Cuál es la lección? Nunca por qué, sino para qué, ¿verdad? Así es. Gracias al diario, gracias a Univision. Goya, siempre en mi casa, Goya, siempre estás conmigo. Fíjense que han estado en mi vida, bueno, Univision y el diario mucho acompañándome. All this started when I was 3 years old. I was this little girl that had a dream. All I wanted to do in life was dance. That's all I wanted to do. I wanted to be a professional dancer. Entonces yo creo que la vida a todos les manda un talento. Y ya depende de nosotros si ponemos las horas, el entrenamiento, el esfuerzo para desarrollar ese talento. Las oportunidades llegan a todos y depende de nosotros si vamos a tener la valentía de tomar esa oportunidad and show up. Are we going to show up? Am I going to be brave enough to show up to that audition? Claro, todo es, bueno, a mí me gusta un dicho en inglés. Rejection is God's protection. Always. Cuando algo no sale bien en nuestras vidas, no salió como quise, chihuahua, esto no salió como Diosito me... Just trust that there's a reason. Trust there's a path for you. Trust that there is a why and you'll find out. Bueno, regresémonos. Yo nací en Monterrey, Nuevo León, en México. Arriba Monterrey. Pero crecí en la frontera entre Matamoros, Tamaulipas y Brownsville, Texas. Mi mami siempre me decía, you are very privileged kids because you're going to grow up between two traditions, two languages, and two cultures, decía mi mami. I had no idea what she meant because at that age, I didn't know any different or any better. That was it, right? Later in my life, I understood, oh my God, I know 2 languages. I have all these tools, and I had no idea. No uno aprecia más ya cuando crecemos y nos damos cuenta. Bueno, fui a todas mis clases de baile, todos mis tendues, mis pliés, todo para entrenar a ser la bailarina. Little did I know that life had a different kind of mission for me. Cut to June 18th, 2002, I'm making my Broadway debut. And who was there to accompany me and to document this, el diario. Y a través de todo lo que he logrado, todos los eventos, las cuestiones a través de los años, el diario. That's why. Cuando me llaman y Ingrid me dice, por favor, o sea, me siento tan arropada estar con mujeres tan increíbles como ustedes. O sea, de esto se trata. De, like we said, to lift each other up, to celebrate each other, to tell each other you're beautiful inside and out, you're doing amazing, you're my inspiration, to celebrate and to be each other's inspiration. You never know who you are for the next lady beside us. You never know. Entonces, ahora me doy cuenta, después de todo lo que he hecho en mi carrera, I'm on a very different little mission right now. So I'm in a moment where I think I need to give back now. Todas las bendiciones que yo recibí, ahora es momento para, ¿qué puedo hacer yo por los demás? And it's funny because my life has put me in the lives of children, from the foundations I support, from the television shows, Pequeños Gigantes, that I've been supporting. But then, yes, I'm on my second marriage. This man shows up in my life a little over 9 years ago with 4 daughters. So I went from a Broadway star to a stepmom of 4. So as I try, and they all came a little bruised, each one is a very different personality and a very different color and with a different problem. So I'm going to share something with you because now I think it's time to share it. I can talk about it now because you never know who needs to listen to this. I will share this. For 7 years, my husband and I tried to have my own. No se pudo. Pero como bien dicen, pídele a Dios lo que necesitas, no lo que quieres. So I understood, okay, God is sending me what I need, not what I want. So last year I did a lot of healing and I understood, I let go of it. I surrendered and I said, okay. And then I went, oh wait, I'm already a mother. Not in the conventional way, but those little girls need me and I freaking need them. And they're in my life for a reason. So as I still go through my career and still try to speak up and be present in my community and be in all the foundations, at home there's 4 little girls that I'm trying to, as I try to heal them, I'm saving my inner child. All those things that I didn't get to heal when I was a little girl. So I will continue my mission. I will continue to try to be an example for those little 4 girls, for the younger generations that are looking to me, to my career and saying, I want to do what she does. I want to stand on Broadway one day. Because when that made my Broadway debut, it wasn't about me. It wasn't just about me. And it wasn't just about Mexico. It was about all the Latino community and putting la bandera presente de que los latinos estamos presentes en Broadway y Broadway es para todos. Entonces, con esto los dejo, sigan disfrutando. Gracias por inspirarme, gracias al diario, qué bonita tarde me han dado y salud, tomen vinito. Gracias.
Our next honoree is Damaris Mercado, producer, curator, educator, Making It Happen Mercado project. Damaris Mercados is the founder of Making It Happen LLC, empowering solopreneurs and community organizations through coaching, production, and mentorship. A seasoned producer and creative director, she helps bring visionary projects to life while mentoring the next generation of leaders in education, wellness, and the arts. Oh, thank you.
Colors. Good afternoon. Buenas tardes. Okay, so, oh my goodness. You know, I'm not one for speeches, but I do have a checklist, because as a producer, we got our checklist, right? So I first want to recognize all the people in this room making it happen. The people behind the scenes, all of the crew members in the corner, George Cano Moreno and his team. George got his first paycheck from my father when he launched Urban Latino magazine. So I've known George for a long time. and all the women in here who have been and will continue to keep making it happen. And so for you, I have these little buttons that I have that are very special, little commemorative MIH, Making It Happen buttons. To the people at home, I wish I could send it to you. There's so much, and I wanted to, well, I wish Rossana congratulations on her book, but I also wanted to give her another extra special thanks for all the support that she gave to my family and to my father and the record company and the concerts and all of the things throughout the years. So some of you may or may not know that I was born into a family of entertainment. And my father, his name was Ralph Mercado. Thank you. He managed artists like Tito Puente and Celia Cruz for more than 30 years, launched Mark Anthony's career and La India. I traveled with all of these people for quite a bit. His first two artists to his management company were Ray Barretto and Eddie Palmieri. So I grew up with these people as aunts and uncles, cousins. Margie Puente, who was the wife of Tito Puente, met my mom at the Cheetah Club when they were doing a show there. And she was pregnant with Tito Jr. and my mom was pregnant with me. So we know each other since the womb and we are family, right? So cousins. So, I've had a journey. That has been, thrust upon me of a legacy, right? So I have Mercado Project, which is a legacy project recognizing not only my father and his contributions, but also to all these magnificent people who gave rise to Latin music and the culture on a global scale. We're talking, they got started on their journey. He and my mom launched that empire in the mid-50s. So, I wanted to say thank you to Rossana for her support. Thank you to my partner, Antonio, for nominating me. Where are you? Hi. And the work that we've done together for Latino College Expo for over 13 years. And another project we're working on, Pivotal Moments, Unlimited. So there's going to be a lot happening through that and recognizing people's stories and journeys. I also want to thank, so I don't know if my son David is watching at home or online. He is out in Vegas. He's working at I'm not going to tell you which venue. I don't know if I should say, but he's out there doing some great things. And my other son, Damar, who's here today. And you guys, yes, love you too, baby. Love you too, baby. We speak about the journey of parenthood. We speak about single parenthood, and I too became a single parent. And but I also had the great fortune of having my children choose me. I believe that they chose me. I believe that my mom sent them to me. My mom passed when I was 21, and had to continue raising myself on my own. And so the single parent journey, parenting in general, right? But the single parent journey is one that informs you of your strengths. It informs you even further of what your superpowers are. And for a long time, people would say, what's your superpower? Like, I don't know what my superpower is. They talk about superpower. I don't know if you remember, there was a whole thing about superpower for a while. What's your superpower? And I feel like it just dawned on me recently that my life has been of resilience. My life has been of persistence. And my life has been of adaptability. And so I feel like those are my superpowers. And I feel like they're not only my superpowers, but in all of the stories I've heard today, I feel like they're your superpowers too. So I welcome you to embrace those superpowers. I also want to say that when I was doing the interview with Renzo, where are you? I don't know where you are, earlier, and he said, what does it mean for you to be here today? And I was like, I don't know, it's so many things, and I'm excited to be here. And I also want to say that it's about recognizing, right? Who was it that was saying before? I lost track. About taking the time for ourselves. But it's about giving pause and taking the time to recognize ourselves as we recognize one another, but recognize our accomplishments, because we live in a world, we live in a city that is always about go, 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 do. Not as encouraging to stop, reflect, pause, and acknowledge ourselves. So I encourage you to do that. My journeys are organically unfolded throughout the years. I've produced a lot of projects and managed a lot of projects and coached and consulted people on a lot of projects in entertainment, education, wellness. I've had many initiatives. I welcome you to check out my website, damarismercado.com. And there you'll find a bunch of community initiatives. I would love to connect further. There's a lot of wonderful journeys here. But I want to leave you with this, that, for me, part of my journey has really been about doing something. It's about providing value. It has been about figuring out solutions and helping other people soar. And I just feel like we have all of that in common, right? And keep doing. And this last bit, and I'm wrapping it up because, I'm not the keynote. It's okay. But I'm the keynote for myself, right? Because we have to do that. 3 things to keep in mind. That, my partner and I, we talk about these things: passion, creativity, and truth. And to have passion for all the things in life that you want to explore, because that's what keeps you going, right? To really be into the things that you want to be doing. We're ever-evolving creatures. We hit our next chapter in midlife. I have a whole midlife group that I run monthly. If you're interested, go check it out on my website. Join us. We talk about travel and retirement and all the things, hot flashes, all the things. That passion for exploring the life's moments and the creativity to produce your ideas. Believe in yourself, right? Don't discount something you think you may want to do, but maybe it's too challenging to make happen. I'll help you. I will do that. So, and the last thing is to live in the truth of your being. Live in the truth to who you are, not just your work, but to who you are. And that's okay if it changes day to day. Keep discovering yourself. The world is your campus. Be a lifelong student. Thank you.
Let's receive Nuria Morgado, Professor of Hispanic Studies at City University of New York. Nuria Morgado is a distinguished professor of Hispanic Studies at the College of Staten Island and the CUNY Graduate Center, and a leading voice in Hispanic literature and cultural scholarship. In 2024, she made history as the first woman to direct the North American Academy of the Spanish Language. Un aplauso para Nuria. Shaping the future of Spanish in the United States.
Good afternoon, everybody. Muy buenas tardes a todos y a todas. Es un gran honor para mí estar aquí con todos ustedes. Voy a ver si puedo expresarlo con palabras. A veces las palabras no pueden expresar los sentimientos de la manera en que podrían o deberían, ¿no? Agradezco de corazón este honor, agradezco al diario este reconocimiento y el privilegio de formar parte de este grupo de mujeres extraordinarias cuyo trabajo inspira y nos seguirá inspirando y fortaleciendo nuestras comunidades. It's an honor to be part of this group of extraordinary women today. Thank you to El Diario. Gracias también a todas las personas que han hecho esto posible, los organizadores, los sponsors. Gracias a Andrés Correa por la nominación. Me emociona especialmente recibir este reconocimiento como profesora de español en Nueva York, una ciudad donde nuestra lengua está viva cada día, más viva y más vibrante cada día. Y además también como directora de la Academia Norteamericana de la Lengua Española, de la cual tengo el privilegio de haber sido, de ser la primera mujer directora en los 53 años de vida que tiene esta academia. Creo firmemente en el poder del lenguaje para conectarnos. I believe in the power of language to connect us. Para preservar nuestra herencia cultural, para abrir espacios de diálogo y de posibilidad. I believe in language to open those spaces of dialogue, possibility, and to create puentes. En los Estados Unidos, el español no es solo una lengua, es una forma viva de identidad, de memoria y de futuro. Este reconocimiento, por supuesto, no es solo personal. Pertenece también a mis estudiantes, a mis colegas, a mi familia y a todas las mujeres que han abierto camino antes que nosotras. Especialmente le dedico este reconocimiento a mi hijo, Daniel, que está por ahí grabando, el cual, él es quien me ha enseñado a entender y vivir y realmente saber lo que significa la palabra amor. Y desde entonces todo lo que hago en esta vida viene impulsado por el amor. Y ojalá sigamos apoyándonos mutuamente, creando oportunidades y celebrando la riqueza de nuestras voces y culturas. Como decía el poeta español, un poeta, Antonio Machado, decía: se hace camino al andar. We make a path as we walk. Y ese camino lo hacemos siempre con otros, con otras. We are not alone. Thank you so much for this honor.
Our next honoree is Delmi Santos, business owner, El Vicentino Restaurante Salvadoreño. Delmi Santos turned childhood dreams into a thriving family legacy. After immigrating at 15 to reunite with her parents, she built a life rooted in resiliency, family, and culture. Today, alongside her loved ones, she proudly owns and operates El Vicentino, Salvadorian restaurant serving their community since 1998. Un gusto. Y felicidades.
Gracias. Estoy nerviosa. Buenas tardes. Me siento muy contenta y muy bendecida, agradecida con Dios por estar esta tarde con todos ustedes. Y bueno, como bien dice acá ella, soy Delmi Santos, fundadora, acá acompañada de mi bello hijo, mi esposo que está por allá. Llevamos una trayectoria de 27 años con nuestra gastronomía 100% salvadoreña. Y bueno, le doy gracias al diario, al canal Univision, al producto Goya, porque sin él tampoco podría ser posible que nuestra sazón se llevara a cabo, porque lo usamos constantemente. Y darle gracias a Dios, en realidad me siento
y me declaro una consentida de Dios, porque Él ha realizado hasta el más mínimo deseo de mi corazón. Y por lo tanto, me considero fiel creyente que Él nos da todos los dones a cada uno de nosotros, y es nuestro deber o elección llevarlos a cabo, porque Él siempre pone las personas y las herramientas correctas para realizarnos. Y bueno, yo les digo ángeles, siempre le digo a mi hijo, cuando sueñe algo, Dios siempre va a poner un ángel en su camino, que bueno, ahora entiendo al recorrer el tiempo que son amigos, puertas y personas como cada uno de ustedes, mi amiga Jessie, Esperanza, Ingrid y todos los que hacen posible este lindo evento. Y bueno, tras de todo esto, no soy solamente yo, tenemos un gran equipo que Dios nos ha brindado al pasar los años. Y esto pues es un reconocimiento para todos ellos también. Y bueno, gracias a todos y bendiciones.
Lo hice. Muy merecido. And now we have Bill Tipacti here giving the honorees their awards. I know you hear about Bill a lot. You hear Bill Tipacti from Univision. I want to say something very quick, but I'm here because of Bill. Bill gave me my first chance on TV with Univision long time ago. Thank you, Bill. Our next recipient is Anailda Tavares. Anailda Tavares La Sala, pre-construction manager at Turner Construction, has helped shape some of New York's most iconic projects, including Lincoln Center and the Metropolitan Museum of Art expansion. A Dominican immigrant and proud mother of two, she mentors young women in STEM and champions opportunity in construction.
Muchas gracias. Hola, buenas tardes a todos. Quiero tomar un segundo para mirar este cuarto tan importante. He recibido premios, pero este ha sido más especial que todos los anteriores. ¿Por qué? Porque estoy dentro de mi comunidad hispana, donde nos estamos levantando uno a otros. Estoy muy orgullosa. No ha sido un camino fácil. Yo nací en la República Dominicana, en un campo. Voy a hablar en español a mi familia que está mirando, que se llama La Loma de la Gallina. Donde quiera que voy, estoy siempre involucrada en reuniones muy importantes con personas, usualmente hombres, porque trabajo en la industria de construcción y usualmente tengo que trabajar con muchos hombres, blancos, etcétera, etcétera. Y vengo de un lugar donde me hizo muy fuerte, donde mi mamá a una edad de 6 años íbamos al río a lavar ropa en la roca, y creo que desde pequeñita esas experiencias me han forjado en el sentido de que no importa el momento difícil que se presente en mi vida, siempre yo go above the moment. Estoy muy orgullosa, y las personas que quiero darle gracias son personas que forjaron esos momentos en mi vida. Mi tía Fela, que fue la persona que inmigró a este país primero. Sabemos que somos todos inmigrantes que vinimos aquí forjando historias. Mi tía Fela nos trajo a todos los familiares acá. Por eso tengo la oportunidad de estar en este podio hoy y me siento muy orgullosa. Una persona muy especial que está aquí, que es mi tío Max Tavares, que siempre ha estado presente en cada momento de mi vida, en mi graduación y en todos los momentos especiales. Y él me dice, ¿puedo ir a grabar? Y yo le dije, voy a llamar a Ingrid a ver qué me dice. Y aquí está. Max, thank you so much for always being there and supporting me. And I learned from you the art of public speaking, and I am really proud to be your niece. So thank you for being here. Mis padres, el sargento Anastasio Tavares, que en realidad no es sargento, pero le dicen sargento de cariño. Mi madre también, que han sido las personas que siempre me han dado la oportunidad de decir, mi hija, vaya a la universidad, gradúese, no importa de qué profesión te gradúes, pero estudia. Y yo obviamente dije, si voy a graduarme, voy a hacer una profesión que me deje dinero, ¿verdad? Y me fui por arquitectura y hoy trabajo como ingeniera en Turner Construction. Otra persona muy importante es mi tío con César. Mi tío con César, yo crecí en la República Dominicana, y cuando íbamos de vacaciones a la capital, yo veía a mi tío con César estudiando cuando todo el mundo estaba en fiestas. Hoy él es uno de los doctores más prominentes de la República Dominicana y ha sido una inspiración para mí en mis estudios. Mis hijos, que son mi inspiración, Camila y Sebastián, por ellos trabajo todos los días. Soy una madre soltera y tengo que ser madre, hija, hermana, amiga, y trato de complementar todas esas actitudes de la vida de una forma amena y que yo también obviamente disfrute y pueda pasar tiempo ameno. Fuquan Collins, thank you so much. VP of Diversity and Inclusion at Turner Construction. Thank you for supporting this. You've always been there. It's been 20 years since we met and we're going strong. Él me dice la jefa y yo le digo el jefe. So, thank you, Fuquan. El trabajo que hago, honestamente, es muy importante. Give back to the community. I wish that when I was growing up, in New York City, I came here when I was 10. I had people that actually would mentor me. Unfortunately, I had to pave my own way, and I had to find a way. Many difficult nights, many sleepless nights, but however, I did make it. And today what I do is I talk to young girls and I mentor them, and I try to teach them that the sky's the limit, and there's always an opportunity. You just have to go and get it. I always say something very powerful. You have to be your own advocate. You have to say it. You have to go get it so that you can achieve it. Thank you so much and have a great afternoon.
Now let's please welcome Barma Uruchima, Vice President of Global Value Creation, the Estée Lauder Companies. Barma Uruchima is a global finance and transformation leader at the Estée Lauder Companies, driving enterprise value across more than 50 countries and 25 brands. An immigrant from Ecuador, she also champions mentorship, advancing women and underrepresented leaders.
Good afternoon. Thank you for not leaving. I'm glad to see you guys all here, but I also want to say good afternoon to everybody that is online, on YouTube. Hola, buenas tardes. Los ecuatorianos llegamos. Llegamos. Sí. I am deeply honored to be here and stand among such incredible women. Coming from the beauty industry, this hits a little different. And I'm sure that for you guys, it's also a little different, right? Because all the organizations that you guys are supporting is incredible. But Latinas in beauty is a true thing, as we know it. So I'm representing them just for today. I do want to take the time to also give a great appreciation to El Diario, Univision, las telenovelas de mi casa siempre, Goya, el sazón Goya en mi casa, mi hija le puede también. I want to say especially thank you. I'm nervous. Where's the lady that said that when your voice is quivering? Because I'm very emotional about that. I do want to say and extend a big thank you to Flary Velo for believing in me. I met her in Prospanica when I was going over there to recruit for new employees as well as students to help them and tell them that they gotta join Estée Lauder, join the Latina community. So that was one of the big things. So thank you. It is an honor and humbling to be here amongst all of you guys. But like I think somebody said to me in the bathroom, this is a connection. This is something that we're putting out there so that way we could continue to drive and support each other and give each other back. I also want to take the time to appreciate and thanks to my parents who migrated here from Ecuador, Ecuatorianos. They came here in the 70s, so you could imagine at that time it was very difficult for them. The one thing that they did instill in me that hard work, perseverance, passion, you gotta make sure que te pongas y te pongas a estudiar, so to make sure that you're studying, and that's what I did. One of the things that I did after them being here, they brought us, me and my brother. Of course, I came here speaking no English, like many of you guys. I heard your story. I was the same way. I tell people I'm still trying. So if I have an accent, please bear with me. One of the things that I did see is that although I didn't speak the language, I knew I had to keep on moving forward. The thing that was very obvious to me, it was that the challenges and systematic barriers of being a minority was really there when I came in the 80s, but it's still now. So throughout my career, although I've been very successful in finance and working in fashion and beauty luxury, one of the things that was very true to me is people. I love the people. I love seeing to the fact that we had to give back. So sponsorship, mentorship was critical for me. So I went on a quest to making sure that in 2000, I launched the first mentorship program and sponsorship program for Latinos at the Estee Lauder Company. Since then, we've trained 250 employees, which they all are the leaders of the future. And I'm very, very passionate at making sure that that opportunity is there. I also help the schools down in Ecuador, the school that I came from, in making sure that they have that opportunity and they could see themselves. If I could be here, they could be here also as well. Responsibility to create opportunities and to lift others and open doors that once felt closed is extremely important to me. One of the things that I am also, just like everybody else, I am a mother, I am a wife to my beautiful daughter that is taking pictures of me. She has to take pictures of me because we gotta put that in Facebook, LinkedIn, and everywhere else. But they know that they are my heart, my soul, and they are the drive that keeps me going forward. I'm not gonna cry. I promise I was not gonna cry. But this is why the work that I do matters. To every Latina here, your voice matters. Your presence matters. Your story matters. We're not just building careers, we're building a legacy. Estamos aquí no solo para triunfar, sino para abrir caminos para las personas y las mujeres que vienen atrás de nosotros. Superwoman. Thank you. Thank you to everybody. Thank you.
Our final honoree is Sofia Sayas. Sofia Sayas is Director of Latino Affairs for Governor Kathy Hochul, where she strengthens New York's ties with Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic and advances investments that support and empower Latino communities across the state.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Ooh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, sorry. I'm so privileged to be here this afternoon among an amazing, dynamic group of Latina women. So super Latinas, I'm gonna take that with me forever. Sorry. And I just want to take a quick moment to acknowledge some of my supporters that are here today, and acknowledge my colleagues in government, Doris Gonzalez and Minosca Alcantara. It is wonderful to work alongside such a group of dynamic guerreras, like I like to call it. And just a couple of names that I want to acknowledge here today: Marlene Cintrón, Rose Rodriguez, who have been two amazing trailblazers, who have paved the way. My Bronx women, give it up for the Bronx. And I also have a good friend of mine, Linda Suarez, who works for Office of New Americans. And I also want to shout out some of my judges who are here today. My fan club. Justice Lumari Maldonado Cruz, Justice Wanda Negron, and Justice Bianca Perez. Thank you so much for raising the bar for what it means to be Latina in this industry, whether it's government or corporate world. Thank you for that. So it is a profound honor to be here. And I want to acknowledge also and celebrate a true visionary. And I think she's not in this room right now, but Commissioner Rosana Rosado. Congratulations, because I also want to congratulate her for being named one of City and State's 2026 Above and Beyond Women. And in her profile, when I was recently reading it, she says something that stopped me in my tracks. I love the feeling of fighting for someone who couldn't fight for themselves, and that became my life's mission. Commissioner, thank you for that mission and for founding Mujeres Destacadas. You didn't create an award. You built a platform that makes sure our stories are heard and not erased. I also want to thank my dear friend, Floricel Bello, Flori, for her unconditional friendship. Thank you for nominating me for this award. You truly embody what it is to empower and uplift your own sisters within, whether it's government or the private sector, but you are truly a gift. Thank you. Many see my title today as director for Governor Hochul, but they don't always see the soil that you grew up in. I was orphaned as a baby and raised by my grandmother on public assistance. When I was 18, a welfare caseworker looked at me with total coldness. She told me to my face that I was a waste of time. She said I'd be another statistic. I would be a high school dropout, and I would be just like all the other girls in the reception area with a belly. I remember walking out. She didn't want to recertify my benefits. I remember walking out sobbing, but that hurt became my fire. I decided right then and there that her low expectations would never be my calling. I didn't just graduate. I went to college, I broke that cycle, and today I work for New York State, for one of the most important states in the nation. Like the commissioner, I live by the mission of taking on fights for those who don't have the access or the resources to stick up for themselves. My life experience allows me to walk into the halls of power and make sure that the invisible are treated with dignity. Our success isn't measured by our titles, but by the doors we leave behind open for the ones that come behind us. And we must reach out and we must pull the next girl who thinks her circumstances defines her destiny. To every woman here, continue to take up space without apology. Let's keep proving the statistics wrong and our resilience right. Thank you.
Now let's welcome our following rising star to receive the second scholarship of the day, Christine Rockwood, presented by Barca Uruchima.
Good evening. As you know, my name is Christine Rookwood, and I'm a senior at the Celia Cruz Bronx High School of Music. First, of course, I would love to thank Goya, El Diario, and Barma Urikima for this extraordinary experience and scholarship. To be educated has always been on the forefront of my mind, and I'm determined and so excited to further my studies and push beyond my limits. In a society where people like us are expected to play into negative stereotypes that insult our capabilities, I study with a purpose, to not only disprove that mindset, but to create new pathways. That is why I'm beyond grateful to receive this scholarship that will make my transition to university so much easier and so much more affordable. Throughout my high school career, I've had the opportunity to be on the executive board of multiple clubs, such as the Senior Council, Yearbook, and the National Honor Society. However, my most impactful role has to be being a leader in my school's My Sister's Keeper, a group highlighting the importance of sisterhood and unity. So standing here in front of so many accomplished, successful, and influential women truly makes me so proud, and I cannot wait to use this opportunity in the pursuit of education and achievement. I am majoring in applied physics to pursue a career as an aerospace engineer. Super Latina. Although I have not yet decided on the college I will attend, I am forever thankful for the scholarship and the doors it will open to my studies. Before I close, I'd like to acknowledge all those who have supported and encouraged me throughout my academic journey. Thank you so much to my amazing assistant principal, Ms. Collins, it's right there. My extraordinary guidance counselor, Ms. Colon, who nominated me for the scholarship and helped direct me through the very complicated journey of senior year. my older sisters Yolanda, and my best friend Sarah Britt. Last but definitely not least, I would love to thank my beautiful mother who's here today. She has always given me unwavering support, love, and motivation in any battle I have faced. I love you so much, and I hope you know how grateful I am to have you as my biggest supporter. Again, thank you so much to Barma Uruchima, Goya, and El Diario for this experience and this scholarship. And I promise to use this money to further my intelligence and achieve nothing short of academic excellence. Thank you so much.
Okay. Please, let's give a round of applause to Barma Uruchima for her generous contribution to the next generations of leaders. Please give them a round of applause to all our 21 honorees. This concludes our annual Mujeres Destacadas. Thank you for allowing me to be your host for the ceremony. Thank you so much, guys. Hasta la próxima. Honorees, please, can you take your award for the picture back there? And thank you to El Diario and my co-parent company of El Diario. Thank you, live stream. Todo el mundo que nos miró en YouTube. Thank you so much. Woohoo! Until next year. Thank you, girl.